Chan, what do you mean whey protein? No, no, oh, I thought you said whey protein. Well, you read whey. No, no, I don't take protein. I don't take any of that stuff, man. Nothing. No pills, no powders, none of that stuff. Whey protein, I know everyone, every gym bro goes and gets whey protein, but when I learned a bit about the science, I was like, what is this shit? I remember speaking to one of the doctors at work and he was like, what are you doing, dude? I reckon I was like 21 years old. I just started nursing and I had this chat with one of the senior doctors in ED and he broke it down for me. I was like, holy shit, dude. And then after that, I kind of looked it up in some of the key words that he said. And I was just like, fucking hell, you have a point, man. I just dropped it ever since. And that was it. Like I hadn't taken whey protein for a long time. Around that time, I remember I was a rookie muffin, man. I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to bulk up and I went, this is like shortly after I was still playing basketball. I went to the local shop here. For those of you guys in Adelaide, I went to Harbour Town. There was a supplement store. I walked in with like no knowledge. Walked up to the front counter and I'm like, man, I'm looking to kind of bulk up, you know, what sort of protein would you recommend? And he gets this fucking big ass tub out. It's fucking like an industrial grade. And he was like, take this, take 3 scoops with some milk or some water 3 times a day. And I was like, sick. And I was fucking skinny as, man. I was like 80 kilos, 70, whatever, like just 80 kilos I think I was back then. Maybe 80 kilos. Took that shit home and I started smashing it and I left it on the counter. My parents are like, what the hell is this thing, man? You know, my mom opens it up, smells it and she's like, Ivan, this is very poor quality food. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, why are you eating this and not a steak or meat or some nice vegetables? Like, what are you doing? He's like, nah, mama, this is, see the guy on the cover? Like, he's jacked. That's what you need to do, right? Very, very poorly received by my parents. So I had to start drinking this shit like fucking 3 times a day. In the few days, it was kind of fun. It's vanilla, it's cool. It's like kind of like a soft drink type thing. It's like really sweet and whatever. I'm smashing it. And then like over the course of that week, I just started getting more and more bloated. And with that became like more and more lethargic. I started eating less and less food. I was just so full all the time with this freaking protein, man. And anyway, I did this for a couple of weeks. And at one point I I went to the toilet. This was kind of when I started nursing or whatever. And when you start nursing, you know, you start to think about your health as well. And I'm getting bloated. I'm feeling shitty. I go to the toilet and, you know, I do a number 2 and I turn around and I'm seeing my poo and I'm looking at it. I'm like, the hell is this shit, man? My shit is actually white. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck, I don't know much about all this stuff, but that's very bad. Like, it's just like floating. The shit is floating, man. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't know what the hell is going on here, man. Like, I'm flushing the thing. It's like surfing. The fucking shit is surfing on the toilet. And I'm feeling shitty and I'm like, how the hell did this go through my entire system, come out and it's a fucking boat? What sort of shit is this? Anyway, went to the hospital. I'm like, you know, I've got all these doctors at my disposal. I'll just ask somebody. And I went over there and I asked the doc. He's like, oh, bring that tub in. I bring it in the next day. And, you know, he basically said to me, he's like, the reason why the poo was white is because your liver was unable to process it. You've taken so much of this stuff in and all of the enzymes were exhausted. And so what you put in is what came out. And so your liver is basically tapping out. Your liver cannot process this much crap. You're basically poisoning yourself with this shit. Like it's literally undigested running through you. And the reason why you're feeling bloated and the reason why you're feeling lethargic and all this stuff is because your system is under assault from all this shit that you're eating. And he's like, this is not healthy nutrition. This is powder that was made probably years ago. It's got nothing to do with good quality nutrition. This is very bad for you. And he went on and on to explain about the liver function test and about all these different enzymes that are happening in the body and the pancreas and this and that. And he started to explain all this stuff. And I was like, fuck it, I ain't going to do this. He's like, cook yourself a nice steak, have a nice salad on the side, drink some water, and you'll be fine. That's enough protein for everything that you need. This crazy shit of people like smashing in 50 million grams of protein a day for this idea that, you know, it's kind of like a machine. The more you pump in ethanol, the better it is, right? You know, all that kind of stuff. I moved away from it, and, you know, obviously during this period, being lethargic and whatever, I was not very able to train. I was just like feeling crappy, terrible gym performance and the rest of it. So I got really pissed off, stopped. I heard the warning from a doctor, and I started just focusing on good nutrition. And what do you know? My system started clearing up, and also my skin was starting to go shit. I started getting pimples, which I never used to get pimples all over me. And just multiple other things, like just crappy sleep, bags under my eyes, like all that stuff. Just terrible. Difficulty concentrating. I was just basically poisoned. And after that, I cleaned up my diet, started eating properly, started actually eating real fucking food, not powder that you feed some fucking lab animal or whatever. Like, I'm not a plant. You don't give me fertilizer to fucking eat. Start eating proper, nutritious food. Eat proper food, not food that was once upon a time food, but you went through a thousand different machines. It was made into powder, and now you're eating powder. Like, what the fuck are we doing? That is never going to be healthy. And so that for me was a paradigm shift for me, and I kind of went away from all of that crap, and I started to focus on real food, better energy, better nutrition, better skin, better mental clarity, better sleep, better performance, you know. And with that, my blood count started going up. I wasn't anemic anymore. Like, so all of that kind of went into it. And since then, I was like, all of this shit is a scam. These people who are in power, in position of power, who are doing steroids, GH and all this stuff, that are selling you this crap. Everyone's going to take a protein, so let's sell this, let's make money. And it's essentially tricking the masses. And there's never going to be a point where you should drink a protein powder instead of eating a steak. A steak is real. And the other thing he said to me is, like, when you dump all of this stuff inside your body cannot absorb that much protein like that. That powder is already ready for absorption. It's basically ready for absorption. It doesn't need digestion. And so what happens is this stuff gets sucked into your bloodstream, and all of it gets converted into sugar at the end of the day anyway, because your body doesn't have a need that much protein at hit once. It doesn't need that. And so it gets converted into, like, I think he said, through the Krebs cycle, it gets converted into sugar. And so all of that crap that you're eating is just end up being sugar anyway. Whereas if you eat a steak, there is a digestion process that needs to take place with steak. It takes many, many freaking hours for that thing to break down. And as slowly as it starts to break down, the protein is absorbed slowly as the digestion continues. And so there is no big spike of protein on the graph, absorption. And so it kind of mimics the requirements of the body. The body doesn't need 1,000 building blocks 1 second. It needs a few every second, right? And so a steak and the digestion process, the way it passes through the system, is constantly releasing protein, and it's more nutritious, more bioavailable, and it's just better overall. And it's not going to make you feel like shit. And it's real food versus fake food. So all of that rolled up is why I don't drink protein. And before that idea, before I started having access to really bright people at the hospital, I didn't really know this stuff. You know, when you don't have access to really clever people, you just go off the internet, and anyone can say anything. Like, if you listen to Ronnie Coleman, I'm pretty sure he's going to say to you that his protein powder is the best. So what's the true answer? But like, when I started talking to some of these people that are like physicians, medicine physicians, you're like, shit, man, this guy knows a million times more than all of these guys. So I'll listen to him, and I'm glad I listened, and so stayed away from all of it. I don't need any of this stuff. Real food, real water, real hydration, and you go from there. All right, that was a long ass break, but let's see. All right, that's 23. Not freaking bad. Happy with that.